Now, UK Prime Minister David Cameron says the mission in Afghanistan has been accomplished. He met British soldiers in Afghanistan in a pre-Christmas visit, but the Taliban insurgency is still on the rise in the country, while drug trafficking flourishes and human rights abuses continue. Well, let's talk more about this with Michael Prisoner, Iraq war veteran and member of the Anti-War Answer Coalition. Thanks very much for talking with us. In your opinion, has the mission in Afghanistan really been accomplished? Is it no longer a Taliban stronghold?
Well, mission accomplished was used by Cameron because, politicians don't really say, hey, that wildly unpopular war that we sent you and your children to die and lose legs for over a decade, well, we messed up and it was all a waste. They're not going to say that. Mission accomplished by Cameron means that we died for years in a colonial exercise that was a total blood-soaked disaster due to the arrogance of rich politicians who thought they could dominate the land and resources of poor people in Afghanistan using the blood of working-class people from the United States and from the UK. And it's almost, for Cameron to assert that there has been so-called progress against the insurgency there is an absolute fantasy. In fact, just very recently, the U.S. and NATO retreated from a key area in Helmand province and handed over a U.S.-controlled area to the Taliban in an area where in 2010, after soldiers were weary from over a decade of war, President Obama told the country, we know you're tired of war, we know we want everyone to leave Afghanistan, but just stick it out for a couple more years because the fight is in Helmand province. And they flooded over 30,000 new soldiers into Helmand because they were told that that's where we needed to fight. Hundreds died, hundreds lost limbs, and now that area, they're saying, well, it wasn't that important, and then we're leaving.
OK, but generally speaking, though, there have been positives, haven't there? I mean, lives have been lost, soldiers have also died, but the situation, they would argue, is better now than it was before.
Well, the mission for U.S. and NATO in Afghanistan is domination of the country's government, domination of the country's resources, and ability to operate where they are not under constant attack. That is absolutely not the situation in Afghanistan today. The resistance in Afghanistan has forced this multi-year withdrawal of U.S. and NATO forces. So this withdrawal that we're hearing of, this is a retreat, but a retreat in slow motion because the forces in Afghanistan, not just the Taliban, but over 1,000 different organizations who are fighting the occupation, have been successful militarily.
When these troops do leave, I mean, funding will still exist, won't it, for the Afghan army from abroad, and also for their police? Won't they be able to keep some sort of order?
Well, order means propping up an unpopular puppet government that's really run by warlords and drug lords. That this is the only option, really, for U.S. and NATO powers who want to maintain some kind of victory in the country, some kind of victory of dominance in the country, knowing that it is very nearly impossible for them to keep troops in the country because of the success of the resistance and insurgency there. They think that if they just keep pouring billions of dollars to prop up this puppet military and puppet government, that they can maintain some dominance over the region or whatever government comes next.
All right, we do have to leave it there, but thank you. That's Michael Prisoner, an Iraq war veteran, a member of the Anti-War Answer Coalition. Thank you for coming on to RT.